Hey there, friendlies. How's up? I hope everyone's having a glorious Tuesday night. Welcome to the 18th of February episode of my fantabulous live stream, the Bevies Blades and Bushcraft live stream, where we have bevies, we have blades, and we will, at maybe some point tonight, talk about bushcraft. Before we go any further, I just want to do the usual housekeeping. That's the part where I say that if you're watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, all the things. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting in the doobly-doo below. I do love seeing that happen. I also love. I'm not going to say that. That was going to get all maudlin and like cockles at my hearty, but I do love knowing that you guys are watching, spending your time with us after the fact, even though you cannot be one of these people after the fact. If at any point tonight you love what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're enjoying, the chat on the side, the glorious words of wisdom coming from my little mouth, then I invite you to drop me a smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really hate what's going on, that's okay. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you would like to engage in the activity of helping me keep the lights on around here, as several in the side chat already have, then I invite you to click on the join button, right click on it, open in another tab. There you will see the 2 tiers of membership that are available to you for your hard-earned cash, as well as what each tier gets you. Okay? So with all that crap out of the way, I just want to take a quick look at who's kicking back with us, who's hanging. We started off with A Country Boy Trapped in the City at like 8:59. 8:56. So literally just as I hit the button to schedule this, I guess he got the message. Quickie Frisco. He is also, by the way, both a channel hero and a channel mod. So be polite or get the banhammer dropped upon you. Next up at like 9:01. Peanut Trucker Chris popping in to say hi to Country Boy. Peanut Trucker is also a channel mod. So again, be nice or get the road hammer dropped upon you. And then Country Boy says, did everyone forget it's Tuesday? Look, that's kind of my fault. I mean, I had just hit the post button when you popped in. So, I mean, I got home really late tonight and stuff. Oh, we got Christy popping in. Christy is a channel hero. So saying hi back to you, Christy, as well as everyone who's kicking with us so far. Okay, people just saying hi to each other. We got Destiny in the house. Saying hello there to all the peoples. Nice to see you, Destiny. It's always a good night when Destiny and Christy and all the peeps are hanging with us. Look at this. Sean in Alaska popping in right at the beginning. Yeah, Sean, I'm going to add a drum line to that little intro countdown thing that I made. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. It's really hard to mic a boron without making it sound either too muddy or too snare-like. So yes, there will be drumming back in the that scrolly thing, the countdown. That's the word I was looking for. There will be. But yeah, welcome to the stream nice and early. Love it. Loving it. Everyone's saying hi. I just want to see if there's any new names popping in just yet. It's sort of a little core group here. Yeah, hold on. Oh, we got Al popping in, man on the street. Are Americans allowed to be here? Of course, so long as we don't talk politics and nobody gets angry about the fact that This is the last bottle of bourbon I'll be buying for at least the next 4 years. Then we're all good here. And that's a good bottle, by the way. That's a really good bottle. But yeah, of course so. Come on, we're all buddies here. All that stuff happens out there. I like you guys. Hey, we got Grace popping in. How you doing, Grace? Al, by the way, I also want to put out is a channel hero and a channel mod. So be nice. Don't be rude, and Al will let you stay. Steve Grounds, starting us off political. I'll let you have that one instance, Steve. Then I'll go and find you and bury you in coffee grounds or something. Just taking a peeps. Oh, we got Shawnee in the house listening while you work. Okay, that's fine. No pressure. You don't need to comment. It's just nice having you here, kicking back with us. So okay. Today was so rough that not only do I not have a reading, but I don't have a hard and fast subject again. I was thinking I would tell you guys about, I had gigs this past weekend. So was there Books Fest on Friday? Like, I didn't get a notice. Like, usually when I'm about to go on stage, it's like, oh, Books Fest is starting. So I'll turn it on so that it's like, he's getting the watch hours, even though I can't listen. Yeah, so I did some gigging, and I did a lot of shoveling. I tell you guys, I did some no Books Fest. Okay, what's going on with that? That sucks. Is Russell okay? I mean, I know he's had he pulled his side or his back at one point and stuff. Is he doing okay? Books Fest is kind of like a weekly, what's the word? Like a weekly institution. It's part of Friday night. So I feel bad that there's no booksing. So for later tonight at 10, I will either, because Country Boy's here and he actually paid for this, I'll either have some of this with him and you guys, or because I'm getting there near the bottom of this bottle, this is this is from Vancouver Island, Smoke and Oak. It's quite good. It's quite good. I don't feel pressured to buy any more of it though, because it's a little outside of my comfort zone. That's all we're going to talk about for now about that. This is a straight. Okay, so it's not bottled and bond. Someone tell me when it's 5 or 10 minutes to 10. This is only a 3-year, I think, but still. Yeah. Books Fest has been few and far between lately. It's felt like a couple have been missing, but yeah, it was a weekly. He hasn't done one since New Year's Eve. Huh. Do you think he's getting a little burnt out or something? What's going on there? Shawnee is doing the God's good work. I see. Thank you, Shawnee. I hope he's okay. But anyway, I'm not going to get all maudlin and start bringing down the energy. So, you guys want to hear about my gig? My weekend gigs? Interesting stuff. Look, interesting for two reasons. One was the hockey, but that's kind of a sideshow to what I want to talk about. So we played on Friday and Saturday. The third weekend. Hold on. Sean said, I joined an Irish whiskey tasting club. We will eventually get 3 samples at a time from Irish distillers. That sounds cool. Nice. I'm going to look forward to hearing your opinions on everything, because there's a couple of Irish whiskeys that I absolutely love. Like, I think anything by Teeling is fabulous. I have never disliked a Teeling. Will you do like reviews on your channel, or are you just going to enjoy the dramage? Is it like a local club to you, or is this like a mail thing, like a mail? I guess post. They post you a box. Anyways, that sounds really cool. I like that. So yeah, Friday and Saturday, because the third weekend of every month we play at Hurley's Irish Pub in beautiful downtown Montreal. Now, getting there was a chore, because you guys may have known that we had 2 major dumps of snow this week. One on Thursday night, and then one sort of Saturday to Sunday. The combined centimeters of which was about 80. After the Thursday dump, like on the Friday, the city of Montreal was just trying to clear anything they could, because they knew another big one was coming. So it meant that parking downtown was garbage. I parked in a spot that, like, in the winter when it gets really, really kind of hilly, the cars don't really park neatly in within the spots, because you're just trying to park any way you can. You're going over like little lumps of snow and all that stuff. So I sort of backed up, did a little overland back up onto a pile of snow. That was on the Saturday. Actually, on the Friday, because my girls were in Sherbrooke due to I'm going to start this all over again, because my timeline got all messed up. So I'm just going to untangle that. Friday, I took the bus, because the metro and the bus with all my stuff, because Camille, who many of you have seen on my channel before, had a basketball tournament in Sherbrooke, Quebec. It's like about a 3.5 hour drive, 3-ish, which meant that I did not have a car for that gig. So packed all my stuff, clambered over the snowdrifts, went and played. This is another new fiddler who we'd never played with. She's from Galway. I guess 27 or something. She's here on a 2-year work visa. We had met her at her place the week before to do a little jam, because she was a little concerned. Very good, sings well, plays well, very good energy on stage. Like, this was her first time playing with us, and she was like right in, sort of getting people to cheer and dance and sing and stuff. So it was really nice to see someone who we had never played with before sort of click that easily and that quickly. I don't know where my glasses are. We had 2 really good sets, and then the last one, I don't know, people had just drunk too much. Like, there was a frat party or something. Anyways, the last set was not nearly as good as the other 2, but the night ended on a high note. It was quite good. Saturday, I drove in because the girls had gotten back just in time for me to grab the car and go. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hike with Mike. How you doing? How's the weather down there? Okay, mail shipped from Ireland. That is something that I cannot get in Canada. You cannot mail booze across a border into Canada, unless you're a distributor or something. So I'm not eligible for those kinds of groups. Oh, okay. Russell is here. Been listening, just dealing with dogs and stuff. Okay, cool. Sorry to hear that you didn't do books. Okay, so the guy's working on the logistics to get the stuff shipped out. Okay. Everyone's saying hi to Russell. Destiny says our snow clears look like tricycles compared to those that Montreal uses. We even have names for ours: Taylor Drift, Darth Bladder. I love it. I videoed the latest snow clearing, what they did last night, because my daughter was the youngest daughter was trying to stay up to watch them come along, and she fell asleep before they did. So I videoed it, and I tried to share it on the Discord, um, because of the pictures that Jesse's been sharing of like their snow clearing and stuff in Japan. But my video was too large, so I'll show it to you guys in a minute. Mark Davidson, flooded and frozen Kentucky. Oh no, flooded and frozen. That doesn't sound good at all, dude. Don't like that. Destiny's asking if Mark's house is okay. I'm also wondering the same thing. You're about 8 miles from the river, so this what's 8 miles? Is that like 12 clicks? No, is that like 16 clicks? How many clicks to a mile? 2.5, something like that. Apparently, I need to charge my phone. Well, I still got 22%. It's not like I'm gonna. Your bratliness, mister, is something to behold. You happy? Try to send me the TikTok of the guys doing their program. I will never be able to partake, but yeah, sure, send it to me because I'll be yeah, I'll just be interested in knowing how he's doing it. Hey, holy crap, Austin's Corner in the house. How you doing? Haven't heard from you in a minute. So where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So the Saturday I sort of went overland on a snowbank to park because I found parking ish. Went and did the gig. First set was really good. Second set. Oh, here's the thing. There was a hockey game. There's like the Four Nations Cup or Face Off or whatever, and it was Canada against the States. So after a hockey game, the place always fills up, and we hate a hockey crowd. I will tell you that for free. We hate it when a hockey crowd comes in, not because they're bad people, but because they don't care about the music. They're going for a drink after the game to talk about the game and to sing hockey songs and to cheer and ole 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 ole. That's what they're there for. Which is fine if it's a sports bar, but it's a pub with a band on the stage. So anyways, it filled up with hockey players. There was like one Finland fan. I think I saw one or two. Sea of red and white, of course, and then there were like 6 American fans. When there's and it was a weird energy. It was a really weird energy. There were no fights or anything, but generally, what happens when a Canadian team and an American team face off in Montreal, all the fans come to Hurley's afterwards, and like your team sucks, haha, so does yours. But it's kind of a gentle ribbing, like a good natured thing, and then they're like buying each other drinks, and you'll see them sitting at each other's tables, and they're all enjoying the fact that they're all hockey fans. That did not happen this time. There was no gentle ribbing. There were some really rude things said both ways, a lot of like fingers, and then they separated themselves. So it was weird because I don't like hockey. Well, no, I haven't liked NHL hockey since our team captain was Carbonneau. Okay, so that's a long freaking time ago. I was a much younger guy. I find it's a Hollywood game now. I find if you want to look at some good hockey, NHL just ain't it. You want to look at the juniors, and all those guys who are playing their hearts out because they want to be NHL players. But I would not spend what it costs for an NHL ticket. Anyways, but like it wasn't a bad gig anyway. Like sort of everyone was like enjoying the music. Um, it was just weird to see the jerseys not mingling the way they usually do. But again, this new fiddler went down very well. She was very popular, and also what's cool is so she's in Canada on a 2-year visa, and she sort of connected with all the other Irish kids who are here on the visas or whatever, and she really helped pack the house both nights. Two different sets of friends, um, but like they knew all the songs, they knew the dances, they knew all the stuff. They could hold the whiskey. So yeah, it was really you know eh, for gigging, it was a good weekend. We learned um, two new songs that she sang, and it was good to learn some new songs, add a little bit of fresh stuff into um, the repertoire. Um, but yeah, hold on a second. I'm just gonna roll back a bit to make sure that okay, I said hi to Austin's Corner. Oh, hey, Honeybee's here too. Oh man, this is a cool group we got here tonight. We got Austin, we got Honeybee, we got Destiny, we got all you peeps, all the usual suspects that make my Tuesday nights so damn fine. Uh, Austin says it's been a while since I sat at a desktop and watched. It's funny. I will admit that when I'm watching like Books Fest or live streams, really often I'm watching on my phone because I'm doing like the dishes or whatever, um, which is fine in many ways, but it also sucks for when I'm trying to at somebody. So I do try to, especially for Books Fest, once I'm done what I'm trying to do, I'll try to come and sit down, um, you know, here so that I can easily chat. Oh, Buffalo Trace is flooded again. Yikes. So I guess they're in a flood zone, I'm guessing. Grace saw on the local news that they installed some flood walls in downtown Louisville. I think Ohio is about 2 feet above minor flood stage. Really? Hmm. Hey, Off Grid Recon in the house. How you doing? How's the weather where you are? Um, it just jumped on me. Okay, Mike said, been so busy with work and home projects, so tired. I wish I could get out into wilderness for a few days out of camping. You and me both. Although it's cold right now, um, like today was, minus 15 or something, but it with like in the wind, it was minus 27. That's a big honking jump. Yeah, I can't tell you right now, but like right now, it's minus 14, and but it feels like minus 21. You know, so I'm glad I'm not shoveling today because I shoveled a lot over the past 4 days. Let me tell you. Awesome, yeah, and we're getting along. That we are. That we are. You saw Gretzky. Yeah, there was a guy in a Gretzky jersey for sure. Yeah. Uh, Sean sent it to me on my TikTok. Okay, I'll take a look. My Dribs and Drams one or my I'll find it. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry. I'll find it. Um, looks like 30 to 35 US a month. No commitment required. Do it as long as you would like. I hope it works out really well. Oh, Buffalo Trace is right on the river. Not as bad as March 2021, but geez, another flood. They're going to have insurance problems probably. Holy crap, Off Grid Recon, it's 10 degrees there today. Sure as hell ain't like that. So Sean Alaska says it's 40, but feels like 37. So it's above freezing. It's above freezing. Okay, you sent it to my rain dance. Okay, perfect. that is fine by me. I'm just going to take a little sip of tea because it is a good drink. So I will show you the video that I tried to send to the Discord, and tell me if you can actually see it. Okay, hold on a second. So this is my street. What they do is a plow comes along and, well, 2 plows, and put a large, put the whole thing down the sort of the middle of the, not the middle of the street, but, the side there. And then these snowblower things come, you know, and as they fill a truck, it pulls away, and then one of the trucks behind it pulls up and takes its place. So what I'm probably not gonna have on video, well, maybe, is that, um, they ran out of trucks just as they were getting to my place. So when I think that truck there, took off, they just sat in front of my place and rumbled for about an hour until some dump trucks became free and came back. Because what happens is they fill the dump trucks run off to one of the snow dumping zones and then come back into action, right? So there's one of the tractors. And as you can see, it's leaving some of a snow bank there, but it's because they come through twice, and there's a plow sort of working on it from the other side, because they have to get it all the way out into the street so that that big snowblower thing can take it, because it can't come up on the sidewalk, right? So that other plow back there is, pushes it out into the street, make sure that none of it just sort of gets left on the sidewalk. So I mean, that's how they deal with winter here, right? Like they come through and they plow and leave these huge snow mounds, sort of these long snow banks, and then um, when it's big enough, they come and they do that, or um, like when it's big enough, or when they can get to it, um, then that's how they deal with it. It's just that, like, because there was so much snow this time, each of those trucks only lasted like 2 houses, 2.5 houses, kind of thing. Um, so they were using up a lot of them. Country Boy says we hit 11 degrees Canadian here today. I was in t-shirt at work. Holy snap, 11 degrees. I'll tell you something. Well, it's like if we hit 11 degrees here, I'd be walking out in a t-shirt, right? Because 11 degrees in February feels like summer. 11 degrees in winter is like, ooh, I'm going to wear a little sweater. Tea cheers. Thank you, Shawnee. I do love me some tea. It's going to be 31 degrees Celsius for 3 or 4 days next week. It's February, for crap's sake. 88 Fahrenheit is 31 Celsius. Okay. That seems really like warm to me. Hike with Mike is getting ready to go to bed with his sleepy time tea. Gonna get some rest. I think it sounds like you've earned some rest. It sounds like you've got a busy time going on right now. Okay, 4 degrees and 3 degrees. Okay, that's warm. I mean, that's Alaska in February. What's going on there? What's up with that? Yeah, and here as well. It's just the snow mounds are not usually that high. Like they can usually do about 4 houses before another truck has to come through. Yuck. Good way to get rid of a body. Blech. So there was one guy who didn't get his car out of the way. Like what happens is before the tractors and stuff and trucks come, uh, they send a truck with a very specific kind of horn. And if you hear the horn, on your street and it sounds like it's outside your house, run outside. And if they're talking about your car, you got to move it then and there because otherwise they're coming to tow it. And one of my neighbors, he had his car towed, and they're not gentle about it. They're not all like, they come, they tie the car, up to a tow truck, yank it onto the truck, and go. Upgrade Recon says we had 3 inches of snow last week, and they just shut down everything. Man, I mean, that clear out that you saw was the end of 80 centimeters over like 4 days. So yeah, on the Sunday, the girls did some shoveling while I was still asleep. They were probably shoveling around 9:30, 10 a.m. Then I went out and shoveled again at around noon, 1 o'clock, um, because it was filling in. And then I went out again at around 4 to shovel again. And like the snow was back up to almost my balcony. Like trying to get down the stairs was hellish, you know. Uh, Mark says it is minus 7 degrees Canadian here and a winter storm warning for tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, I'm okay not being under a winter storm warning for once right now. But I'm sorry that you've got it. We sent it to you. Hike with Mike says animals are smart. They have the right idea. They hibernate. I would love to hibernate for the winter, except that I don't even really mind winter. It's just I love the idea of like I just keep imagining like a bear goes into their den and curls up, and it's like it's time, and they curl up, and they know that they're not coming out until spring. It's just like, what must that feel like? Like because when they hibernate, their whole body slows down, right? They're not just going to sleep, right? They're going into like coma land for the winter. And I just wonder what that must be like. Like you're furry, you've been fattening up all fall. And you just sort of like, like when you look at cats and they're lying in the sun or they stretch and hunker down, like that there's a sense of, excuse me, uh-oh, I broke the seal. There's a sense of contentment there, right? There's a comfort value there. Cats are sensual beings. They know what comfort is and they look for it. Like, do bears do the same thing? Like, do they just curl up because, like, do they know what it feels like? Like, do they get snuggled or do they just curl up because that's what you do? Hold on a second. Oh, okay, it's armed. I was going to arm the alarm. Uh-oh, advertisement. Chris is in Atlanta, Georgia. And he will be home from tomorrow until next week. That's cool. You got anything planned? No one in Alaska is complaining. Fair enough. I guess, yeah. Josh, hi again, says, this guy looks just like David Draymond. Who is David Draymond? Am I going to be all insulted? Or is this, hold on. David Draymond. Oh, yeah, that dude. Yeah, I'm way fatter than that guy, and my singing ain't nearly that good. Off grid doing the God's good works. Smash that thumbs up button, people. Thank you, sir. Okay, so Shawnee says it was minus 40 degrees freedom this morning here in Minnesota. It will be 40 degrees this Sunday. That's a big honkin' swing. I mean, 40 ain't that high above freezing, but still, from minus 40 to 40, because minus 40 is where Canadian and freedom meet. Yes. And that's cold as shift. Raspberry Rock says, I'd like to hibernate in Antigua for the winter. And by hibernate, I mean chill on the beach, under an umbrella, drinking a rum punch, and reading a good book. Sounds good to me. I'm not big into sort of beach vacations, but I am into the vacations where the object is to just kick back and relax. You know? Mark is asking Russell, what were those cool goggles you had on in your latest video? I haven't seen that latest video yet, actually. Shawnee, I was in Moorhead a week ago and it was minus 20. Minus 20 freedom? Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. So you're picking it up on Friday. Oh, I'm excited for you. That camper, it looks so sweet. So cool. How many colors does it come in? Because you got a red one. But does it come in other colors? I'm sure it does. Or is it like each model has a color? Russell says, I think they came with the helmet I bought. You can probably find them on Amazon, maybe ski goggles. Disney says, oh no, stop yawning. Just okay, so Jessing's mon pays. Ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver instead of Hello Darkness, my old friend. That song is very apropos for right now. Mon pays, ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver. That's a very specific period in Quebecois music, let me tell you. Hey, we got Tenenbaum in the house. How you doing, Baum? Good old tea. Everyone's saying hi to Tenenbaum. Shawnee says, you would read a good book? That is not nice, Shawnee, but it is funny. And so there's value to that. Chris says they come in red, blue, green, and some are white with different colored stripes. Nice. They're so nice. Okay, Russell says I would listen to one. Okay. How's Mr. Tenenbaum tonight? We got Tenenbaum, we got Honey Bear. Two of the guys from the signal chat. Tenenbaum's no, not Tenenbaum. Oh, for land's sakes. Come on, fool. There we go. All right. Sorry, it's just the chat here was not updating the way it was over on the YouTube. So I thought that this was Tenenbaum. I was going to say, what are you doing on Gothenburg? But, hi, Prepson. I don't think I've seen you before, so welcome to the stream. So that if it's Gothenburg, then that's 10 degrees Celsius. If it was minus 10 right now, I would be happy. Like minus 10 here right now, I would be happy. I think my happiest like wintertime temperature is like minus 10 to minus 15. You know, you're out, you're snowshoeing, maybe you're doing some winter camping, whatever, but like you're not like if it's not a really windy day, like the air doesn't hurt your face the way it does at minus 24. But it's not hot enough that you get sweaty and schwitzing when you're doing like your snowshoeing or skiing or whatever. Tenenbaum says it's fair to Midland. All right. And you are not in Gothenburg. I can never remember. I can never remember. Tenenbaum, you're somewhere in central Sweden, if I remember correctly. Specifically not asking for the municipality you're in. Where's Honey Bear? Honey Bear said something that Christy is laughing at, but I don't see it. I don't see the comment from Honey Bear. Why is she lolling to Honey Bear? What did I miss? Tenenbaum says, as Prepson says, it has been cold in these parts of late. Mm. Not as cold as central Canada, but yeah. Look, we're northern people, right? That's the thing. Like, I don't complain when I'm shoveling. Well, I mean, I don't love the shoveling because I'm old, so I have to stop every now and again and catch my breath. But I mean, when it's cold out, it's cold out. You know, I put a hat on because and I put my hood up. I got big old gloves. I you know. Oh, I see. Yes, did I say honey bear instead of honey bee? What a stupid thing to say. What a dumb thing to say. Uh, oh, scone. Okay. Why did I think you were sort of in the mid part? I thought you were further north than that. But you're in Skåne? Skåne? Okay. Hey, Carol's here. How you doing? I hope you're not cold in your part of the country. 21:43. It's almost whiskey time. Whiskey time. If I'd known we were going to have so much Swedish representation, I would have gotten out my high coast. I will tell you. I have the Timmer, but I massively want the high coast berry. I have been told by many people that that's the one that I should get because that's the one that my tastes tell them I would love. But getting it in Canada is an utter chore. Okay, so Prepson has been lurking, just saying hi now. Okay, well, welcome to the welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying it. It's as often as possible. I try to have a theme for the night, and like a reading and stuff. But I did not have time to set that up. Okay. You have your country place in Holland, which is closer to Göteborg. Okay, that's why. That's why. Okay, but you're not there now, obviously. Okay. Yeah, it's that annoying cold. -2 feels like -30 further north. Yeah, I get it. But is it a humid cold? Like, the problem here is the thing that which I didn't get to that part of my thought because my brain is worthless. The thing I don't like about, the coldness here is that very often, unless it's really cold, it's kind of a damp cold. We have, a humidity problem here, whether it's in the winter or the summer, and it's the damp cold that I really don't like. Oh, I clicked that by accident. Um, like in Sweden, do you have like a humidity problem in the winter and or the summer? And like in my old stomping grounds in Vancouver, there was no humidity problem, right? Because yeah, there were mountains on that side, but on this side it was the ocean, right? So like this ocean breeze would come and just sweep away the humidity. So I mean, it could get it can get. It's not like Vancouver has stopped existing. It can get really hot there in the summer, but because it's not that humid, sticky, sweaty hot, it's actually pretty nice. Wintertime in Vancouver sucks though. It rains and rains. And it's gray. Carol is saying hi to everyone. I'm keeping my eye on the time for the whiskey time. Apparently, Prepson says that Skåne can get pretty miserable in the winter. So like it gets kind of a damp wet, I guess. A damp wet, damp cold. Yeah. I am still dying to see that country at some point. I would really like to visit and do some camping. Country boy, yeah, you've said this before, but I'm wondering if that's because you're in Vancouver, right? I'm wondering if Vancouver has a humidity in the summer now because there's so much more concrete. Because, like when I first arrived in Vancouver, like for my first, because I used to live part time, right? Like it was city up to here and then mountains all the way up. And like the last time I was there, it was like city up to here and then like mountains, you know? And so I'm wondering if it's like a what's it called? Heat island effect? Like if all the concrete is what has created that humidity, which sucks by the way. I mean, that was the beautiful thing about summer in Vancouver. It could be stankin' hot, but you didn't care because stepping out of your door didn't feel like walking directly into a tongue, as I have said many times on this channel about summer in Montreal. But yeah. Now, granted, I didn't, our place was in North Van, right? Up around Lynn Canyon, a very, very green growing part of town. But even like walking through Gastown, I mean, it was hotter than in North Van, but it wasn't that bad. But hey, it's not summer right now, so humid and windy. It's better. It's better when it's snowy. Says Prepson. Okay. Yeah, humid and windy. That's great. Oh, I like the lantern in your avatar, Prepson. Is that yours? Is that a it's hard to tell because it's in this little dot, but is that a Foya hand or is that a Dietz? Nice. So at one point, guys, I'm going to remember to ping. Okay, I have pinged Marcus about doing a lantern discussion one Tuesday. I spoke to him and he's fine with it. I want to do a private test stream with him to see his setup, make sure it's all good. And I was going to do it today, and I was going to do it yesterday, and I was going to do it the day before. So at some point this week, one evening, I will ping him, and we will do a little test stream, and then we will be all set. Christy says it is 10 minutes to 10. So, Country Boy is here. So, what do you guys think? Do you want to hear my notes about this British Columbian whiskey? Or I mean, I had this one with Country Boy last week. What do you guys think? And I did watch some videos on this, and apparently this is Derringer, even though it looks really weird. Apparently it is Derringer. Christy thinks it is summer. Yeah, well, you live on the surface of the sun, Christy. You know? Hot. Give us the notes. Yes, but Destiny, which one? The Canadian one or the bourbon? Which one? Tell you what, I'll pour one, and then Country Boy is pouring his rabbit hole, but he'd like to hear about the Vancouver Island one. Okay, so I'll pour this one first, and we'll see how things go. Or do both, says. Okay, so you guys want notes on both. So I will pour small drams of each. Part of the magic of this little shelter point is that for this one they did this half-size bottle because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. So this was a much more affordable, pour, so that if it was a mistake, it wasn't going to be a crazy expensive mistake. Not yet. 8 minutes. Feuerhand 276. I have one as well of those. Mine is not the red. Mine is the sort of the raw metal color. I think they're fabulous. I really do. I am passively looking for an old Dietz, like one that's not made in China, and that still works, obviously. But that's not in any way to replace my Feuerhand, because there's no reason to replace it. I just want to have, I want to have an old Dietz. I want to be able to talk about lanterns, and I feel that you need to have a few examples of anything you want. Like, I can talk your ears off about axes, and I have like, when I do axe episodes, I've done axe episodes before, and I'm like, and this and this, and here's a date, and stuff like that. Oh, nice, Prepson. Look at that. It was a gift from a friend. He bought it cheap at a secondhand store and cleaned it. I love that. That's cool. I like that. Destiny is asking if Peanut Trucker's Semi is air conditioned. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it is. I don't know anything about it, but it seems to me that if you spend that much time in a vehicle, it's got to be. Christy says, too early to Peanut Trucker. I don't see the temperature coming down under 7 anymore. Boo. Yeah, Peanut Trucker says, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, 6 more minutes until whiskey time. I shall, in the meantime, have tea. Part of me wonders if I should what was I about to say? Like, partway through that sentence, it just went. So never mind. Forgot about it. We're all friends here. We're not going to judge anyone, right? Just taking a look here. Just taking a look at the time. 6 minutes until whiskey time. I came across a clear ice maker. Let me show you guys something that I think is the most bougie thing ever. Some of you know that I like to have very clear ice, like big 2-inch. Heads up before you share screen. Yeah, no, don't show me that warning again. I get it. Stop. What? Sure. Oh, God. Stop. Hold on. My computer's. Later. Oh, okay. I know what the problem is. I'm using Chrome for this stream, which I don't usually do. You know what? Forget. I was going to show you guys something, but I'm not going to, because I'm using a different browser than I usually do, and it's just giving me trouble. So forget about it. Never mind. It's not worth it. I'll do it next week. I was just going to complain about something bougie anyway. Okay, you guys know that I like to have big clear ice in my cocktails. I came across through some YouTube video this thing called the Clear Ice Maker by Claris, right? You fill it with water, and like, what is it? 8 to 12 hours later, you have beautifully clear 2-inch ice cubes. Great. But it's like $550 US. Like, I have a non-electric solution that's just like, imagine a small cooler that uses directional freezing that cost me like 60. Wait, hold on. Is somebody going to sleep? Peanut Trucker is out, getting up early to beat the Atlanta traffic in the morning. Everyone have a safe week. Happy trails. All right. Happy trails to you too. Safe home. I'm glad that you're going to get out camping this weekend. So enjoy. Country Boys. Piss. Don't use Chrome for anything. You're absolutely right. I'm going to be deinstalling. Yes, this is a word. I'm going to be deinstalling it off of all my devices. I'm just too lazy to re-enter all my password stuff. But yeah, I'm getting rid of Chrome. I have had it with many things, and I'm slowly making changes. Good old tea. You know who we haven't seen tonight? Is Jim or Skip. I hope everyone's okay. Such a silly thing to say. I hope everyone's okay. Like, the only reason they wouldn't be here is because they're, lying trapped under a bookcase or something. It's like, well, no, they might have other things to do tonight, Jesse. You self-centered ass jacket. I'm just taking a look through the chat here to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Mark, I did pour the smoking oak. And it's 2 minutes too. So I'm not going to turn this into a whiskey stream because sometimes I kind of ride the line there. The thing about this smoking oak is that, hold on. We haven't seen Marcus for a while too. That's true. I think he's just been really busy. So the smoking oak is done in kind of a unique way. Hold on. You don't have to make whiskey in paradise, but it helps. This single grain, triple distilled whiskey tells a story of innovation and experimentation. For this expression, we smoked finishing barrels using a smoldering combination of applewood and locally harvested Vancouver Island peat. The result? A whiskey that breaks all the rules with notes of demerara sugar, sweet hay, caramel, barbecue, chocolate, fruitcake, vanilla, pepper, and distant smoke. So, aged it in your standard oak, and then for the finishing barrel, they smoked the inside with applewood and peat. And we're at 2,200 hours. So, ozone, oak, fruit, because of the applewood, right? Side note, I once carved a spoon out of applewood, and I will never use that wood again. It was hard to deal with. It kind of flaked. No, not flaked. That's not the right word, but it was hard to carve, and it smelled like fermenting apples. There's the caramel. Touch of creme brulee. Something creamy. Is that a nuttiness? Yeah, like a marzipan. So that's almondy. Definitely malty. And the ozone's not as big now as it was when I first sniffed it. Ass jacket or ass hat? What is worse? What are we? Oh, self-centered ass jacket. Did I say that? Ass jacket's worse. Come on, it's bigger. It wraps you lovingly in its assholishness. Yeah. So there we go. Not a whole lot of spice necessarily, but there's kind of a baked goods, kind of a biscuitiness to it. And the peat is really not big here. Like there's a touch, just a touch at the, sort of at the ass end a little bit, and then maybe a touch of an espresso, but like it's almost not there. It's like the memory of peat smoke, and like an impression of what espresso could be if you're describing it to someone who's never had it. Down's a hatch. Um, on the tongue, I'm taking a minute because I've been drinking a lot of tea lately, so I have two cankers in my mouth, and they're both like just killing me right now. Uh, Immediate spice, immediate like sharpness, um, pepper, maybe a white pepper or whatever that long pepper is called. Drying, like it, like it just dried the front of my tongue out completely, and then there's the almondiness there that's coming in now. The creaminess comes back in on the back end as part of the finish. Peat happened a lot more on the tongue than it did on the nose, for sure. Or something smoky, something burnt. The espresso thing, right? Like the burnt coffee. The creaminess, it sort of comes in at the end right now. The nuttiness comes back in, but that did not happen at first. So let me do that again. Okay. Second taste. The coffee comes back in. There's a green apple note there. It's nowhere near as big as it would be with like the classic latte or something like that, but it is there. There's a little bit of fruit. There's an ashiness. There's definitely a burnt barrel thing happening here. Oak. I think it's good. It's definitely unique. You know, this is not your dad's peated whiskey for sure. Um, Charcoal, like a bit of like I can see what they're talking about with the barbecue now, but it's not like some um Ardbegs have like a barbecued steak kind of thing happening. This not so much. It's after you've done all the cooking. It's the ashiness of the embers, you know, charcoal in the bottom. Not briquettes, none of that chemically stuff. I don't get that kind of thing happening. But yeah, it's the aftermath of a fire when everything's burning down low. Definitely peppery. Spicy. Um, Apparently, country would rather wear an ass jacket than an ass hat, preferably neither. But the visuals I'm getting from where this conversation went is crazy. Cankers from tea. I knew that stuff was evil. Yeah, no. If I've been having like 6 cups of tea a day for 3 or 4 days, you can get some cankers going on. Hey, we got homie homie in the house. Got any cool new stuff, homie? But yeah, like look where this is now. I'm gonna have to finish that off pretty quick. I'm not gonna finish it tonight because what I'll do is I'll have one dram of the bourbon that Country Boy purchased for me, and then we'll call it a night on the alcoholic beverages. Mm. Put salt on those cankersaurs and they will go away right away. Yes, I'm going to do a salt wash tonight. For sure. Because I don't like me no cankersaurs. Um, yeah, there's one right here and one right there. Driving me nuts. But I'm not going to sit here and be all like whinging. Oh my God, my cankersaurs. You know, you just gotta keep on going. You gotta keep on trucking. Nobody says that anymore. I just like way to age myself. Keep on trucking, as we used to say. It's like whenever I say I'll be back in a jiff, and my daughter's like, nobody says that anymore, Dad, and I'm like, legit. Christy says Peanut Trucker says that. Says what? Back in a jiff? put some whiskey on those canker sores. That'll help us. Yeah, right. I have been. I sure have been. Keep on trucking. Fair enough. I would be disappointed if he didn't say that. It really is a peppery drink. It really is. I came across a picture. I was going through my photos on my phone for some reason. Homie says, oh, it's not showing up yet. Came across a picture of a house that I sort of on my mother-in-law's street. It's all these sort of little champagne houses, you know, like little country houses. And then there's this one huge, obnoxious thing that was owned by a race car driver, right? I mean, it's got four garage doors. It's this super modern, like flat roofed monstrosity. And I came across a picture of. I was talking to Camille about it at some point because nobody in the neighborhood likes that freaking house. And I guess she asked me how I would do it because I sort of came across this sketch of how I would design an obnoxiously large house, but like still respecting the general look of the area. I wish I had a blanket or brought a sweater down or something. And I spent a lot of time designing, like sketching houses and homes and like country cabins and stuff. I think I just need to win the lottery so I can build one. You know, Homie says a big fighting Bowie that I'm modifying on some Lucas Carroll custom handle scales for your Rafe knives. Okay, that's cool. That's all right. How are you modifying the Bowie or the Bowie? If we're talking American English, well, North American English. Where's my blankie? It's upstairs. I would go and get it, but I don't want to step off screen. Okay, you're grinding down the double guard into a single. Okay. So like just on this side, I guess. Yeah, I can see that. What are you using to grind it down? Are you like cutting it off with an angle grinder or are you sanding it down? How big is the Bowie knife? Like how long is the blade? Is it like a 5.5? I could go for some cheese too. Good old cheese. Hello, Blanky, my old friend. Destiny is laughing at my Blanky, and I just don't appreciate it, Destiny. Okay? So homie's got his knives. 5.5. Nice. I mean, we've had this conversation before that to me, I'm a 4-inch blade kind of guy. That's my favorite, but I can definitely see the usefulness of a much larger blade for 10 inches. Just the blade? That sounds like a full-on chopper to me. Holy crap. How long is the blade on my Grumman number 4? Is that a 5.5-inch blade? Russell's got one. I think we've had this conversation before. I don't have the knife in front of me or a measuring tape. But I think that's a 5 or 5.5. Something about the shape makes it work well for me, though. I think a machete is a little longer than 10 inches. Beto's here. How you doing? No, I'm cold. I'm gonna turn up the heat. Well, the heat is up. Okay. How you doing, Beto? How's the weather all the way down there? All the way down there in Brazil. What was I looking for? Yeah, I think this is a 4-inch blade. Ideal for me. This 14 C28N steel, 59 Rockwell hardness. I think it's very nice. I think it's very nice. It is Swiss made. So here's the thing. Swiss made doesn't mean that all parts of it are from Switzerland, right? When I was working, some of you know that I worked for about 10 years at a fashion/shopping magazine that no longer exists. And I learned things about what made in Switzerland or Swiss made or made in Canada or whatever it means. Like, to be made in Switzerland, a watch only had to be like 50% made. And so, like, it could all be Chinese parts, but final assembly was in Switzerland. And so then your $10,000 watch is made in Switzerland or Swiss made, one or the other. So I don't know, like, if I don't know how Swiss this knife really is. If it was just finally um, assembled in Switzerland, or if it's full like Swiss creation. Like, is that a Japanese steel and they just put it together in Switzerland? Wouldn't have a problem with Japanese steel. I'm just not sure how much of this is like made in China. Like, if the parts were all like made in China and then put together in Switzerland or something. There's no reason for me to be bringing this up. I was just riffing. I'm like, talk, squirrel. That's what happened there. Everyone's saying hi. Shani's asking the same thing as me. How's your weather? I think it is going to be a lot warmer than we are. After a few weeks of very hot weather and heavy rain, the heat has at least subsided. Yeah, that would suck. Heat. It's frigid here right now. I could take a little heat. I can take the heat. It's funny, like, oh, first of all, that hurts. It's an interesting dram for sure. I'm glad I bought this tiny bottle, but I'm also glad I bought the tiny bottle. Like, I don't think I'm going to buy it again. I don't hate it. I find it interesting, but I don't love it, Hey, there's Jim. I said before, I was like, hey, I wonder where Jim is. Just popping in to say howdy. He might hang in the shadows lurking, but we'll probably fall asleep. Too tired. I'm a wimp tonight. That's okay. I'm tired too. I spent 8 hours in a training seminar today. So believe me, my brain is about ready to be like, you know what? Time out. I didn't want to miss my Tuesday night. I don't like missing my stream. And that's why sometimes I'm on and I'm like, guys, I don't feel well tonight. I don't know how long I'm going to be around, but I'm still on because I like my Tuesday nights. It's like the only content I'm making right now on this channel, and I like hanging and kicking back and chitting and chatting with you guys. So that was the Canadian whiskey. Like, I don't want to tear through this too quickly, because of what I said about not buying bourbon for the next 4 years. You know what I find about this bourbon is it feels to me like a bourbon that is designed to be the next big brand. Like it's a very friendly flavor. Um, it's very, I don't want to say it's middle of the road because it's so much better than a lot than what middle of the road whiskey tends to like. I would take this over a Macallan anything any day of the week, you know. But it's the effect. I believe this is designed to become a very large, well loved brand. See, that is downright chocolatey. Dark fruits, cherries, plums, uh, a lot of oak, a lot of vanillins, because of bourbon has to be in virgin oak, not like a heavily charred barrel. I don't think though. Slight peppery, slight coffee note, but not like not like this thing. This is a much smoother kind of molassesy feel effect than that. I mean, bourbon tends to be a little more one trick pony than like single malts are, but it's a very nice trick. The I don't think it's a very high rye mash. Where is it? Like I don't pick up a lot of rye. None. 85% corn. Because so bourbon has to be 51% corn, right? So 81%, 85%, 65. Sorry, it's 65% corn, 25% wheat, and 10% malted barley. Never chill filtered, which is good, and it's finished in a PX sherry cask. 46.5% alcohol by volume, which is good in my opinion because I like anything over 45. I don't know what the hell 45 is in proof. 90? Yeah. So let's give it a taste and McTaste. So completely different. This dries as well, but not because of like anything smoky or earthy or anything like that. I think it's a little youthful, you know. Shawnee also looks forward to these Tuesday night chats. Yes, I'm glad to hear that. Sometimes, like, I know that some Tuesdays I really rock the show. Like, we're having a great time, everyone's chitting and chatting. And then some Tuesdays it's like, sorry, I know I was talking about something. And those Tuesdays I kind of leave the chat or the live stream feeling let down by myself. So I'm always glad to hear when you guys are having a good time. Christy's been into bourbons lately. Nice. Any favorites? I know you've had the Woodford. It's the dark fruit and vanilla that you like. The dark fruit is definitely more a product of like the sherry finish. You know, you don't get a lot of dark fruit in most bourbons. You get a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel, some butterscotch maybe, because of the American oak and everything. A sherry cask will bring some spicier notes because the European oak is just a spicier oak. American oak is very vanilla-y. European oak that gets used in sherry butts is very spicy. So that's probably what's doing the drying thing here. Yeah. You've not had chocolatey bourbon. I mean, it's not like, you know, chowing down on a chocolate bar. There's a dark chocolate element sitting in the mix. Country Boy tells Christy to find this stuff because it's delicious, and I agree. You sent me the before and after. Now you can choke up and get your finger in the choil without the top guard jamming into my hand. Let me see. You sent me the pics on Instagram, I guess. I'm looking. Let me go into Rain Dance Bushcraft. Nope. I'm looking for it. Hold on. What did you send it to me over? Like, what was the messaging app that you used? I'm looking, but I ain't finding. Hold on. Messenger? Messenger? Wait. Let me change accounts. That's the wrong account. The hell? It just... There we go. How did you send it to me? What did you... Yeah, you like the Woodford Double Oaked. Yeah, that's a respectable bottle. Yeah, I like this comment. Savor that bottle. It could be a while before we see it again. Yeah, that's true. That's also very true. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see bourbons ripped off the shelves again pretty soon. Okay, here's an interesting question. Can someone explain how they get the notes or flavors into the alcohol? Like, do they spin the barrel and chuck a vanilla pot in? Sorry about the dumb question, but I find it intriguing. No, that's not a dumb question. It comes to homie, Instagram. Okay, give me a second, Destiny. I'm going to answer that question. That's not a dumb question at all. Oops, I think I just found it. Yes. Okay, I shall now cover the name. So that's the before. Oh, for land's sakes, child. And that's the after. Yeah, I see the yeah, you guys see where the cross guard has been edited? Nice work. Yes, as Country Boy says to Destiny, the majority of the flavors come from the barrels. So, bourbon requires the oak to be virgin, so not used before. American, so they'll either toast or char a barrel. So they make a barrel and then they flame the inside. They set the inside on fire. There's, I think, 7 layers, degrees between, like, just sort of slightly toasted and full, what they call alligator char. That's when, like when you look at wood that's been on fire and it sort of has this like alligator skin, like chunkiness to it. So that gives you degrees of vanilla to kind of like smoky, charred tastes. Because you can't really add flavoring to whiskey. As soon as you add flavoring, then it has to become a whiskey liqueur, or how do you Americans say it? Liqueur? Especially, like, there are some very stringent rules for bourbon. It's got a beautiful set of rules. Like, the purity of bourbon can almost be taken for granted, whereas with Scotch, if they don't say, no caramel coloring, or if they don't say natural color, you can be damn guaranteed that there's caramel coloring in there. Canadian whiskey too. So if you like, what you can do to add more notes is you can finish the whiskey in an ex sherry butt, right? That's a big honking barrel that used to have sherry in it. You empty it out, so you're not mixing sherry into your whiskey, but the sherry that has soaked into the barrel um, will impart a certain sherry ness to your whiskey, which is what this rabbit hole Derringer is. Um, so there's two things happening there. You get all this sort of the dark fruit and sometimes slightly sulfurous flavors of sherry, whether it's a sweeter sherry or a drier one. But you also get the notes from the European oak. And European oak is a much spicier, stronger oakiness, stronger oakiness. Um, now, because bourbon has to go into a virgin barrel, or it doesn't even have to go into a barrel, it has to touch virgin oak. Like you can pour it through a wooden tube into bottles and it's bourbon kind of thing. Whereas with other whiskeys, it's very specific. Oak barrels, 3 years. Um, so yeah, the European oak gives it a spicier note. So like this is more fruity, dark fruity and stuff than a non-sherried bourbon would be. But also, it's spikier. It's got that European oak spice to it. Delicious though. So you can finish your whiskey in a wine barrel or a sherry barrel or a whatever. There's all kinds of things that you can use to finish a whiskey in. Or you can pour your new make into a sherry barrel and age it in sherried oak, which gives you a massively more present sherry effect, unless you're using a really dead barrel. I have an Aaron sherry barrel finish. No, it's not finished. It's aged in sherry, which is very, very sherry-like, delicious. Sorry, Siri is for some reason listening in and trying to show me things. Hold on. Destiny says that makes sense. Yeah. Also, like I have a Japanese whiskey that is aged in Mizunara oak, which is a Japanese oak. Which Mizunara whiskeys tend to be really expensive because Mizunara is very hard to work with. The trees you need to take down to get these casks have to be like 200 years old. It's a very splintery wood. There's a lot of loss when you're trying to make barrels out of it. Apparently, it imparts a unique flavor, but it's not a very strong thing. So to get a really noticeable Mizunara oak like finish to your whiskey or notes, it has to be quite old. So noticeably Mizunara whiskeys tend to cost the moon. So the one I have is not nearly old enough, but I will open it at some point and give it a try. Country Boy says, I think that's why I like bourbon. It's simpler and more pure product. Not a lot of screwing around with colors and filtering. Yeah. I like my whiskey to be non-colored and non-chill filtered. And it has to say it for that to be true. If it doesn't say it, then, Destiny says, so just oak barrels, no other wood used? Okay, so in Scotch, it has to be oak. In bourbon, it has to be oak. Finishing barrels might not have to be, but I don't know what else you. I used to have a whiskey that was finished or aged or something in something that wasn't oak, and I don't remember what it was. Um, but oak is just sort of like the default setting. There was one Scotch that had to change the way they did things because they were going to lose the right to call it Scotch. What they did was they put staves of, I think, applewood in the barrels, um, which breaks the law for which breaks the rules for Scotch. So what they ended up having to do was just change the wood of the top and bottom of the barrel, like the two flat bits, or they had to do the opposite. I think they had to stop putting staves in, and they had to change the the two ends. I think something like that. But messing with the wood of the barrels is messy. Uh, Country Boy is asking, what barrel is that sherry aged one? It is an Aaron. The hell's it called? I think it's called Aaron Sherry Cask. Let me look it up. Aaron Sherry Cask. Um, it's gone up in price. It's $90 in Alberta now, which means it's going to be more in Quebec. Here, I'll send you the. Hold on. I will share the screen because it's not going to let me put that URL into the side chat. Let me share my screen. I will share it for long enough for you to write it on down. Oh, it's called the Bodega. Oh, I canceled? The hell you doing, Holmes? You got to make it happen, man. And I shall show on stream. So this is at BSW Liquor in Alberta. So, so as you can see here, I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, it is non-chill filtered, natural color, distilled and matured in Lochrenza, I think, Isle of Arran. Natural cask strength. I don't know if it's always 55.8, but it was sherry hogshead, 250 liters. Delicious, delicious. And in fact, this is the whiskey that got me. I used to be really sherry averse. I found it like cloying and just too much. But that one got me way over that. That one was like, okay, that's all right. I got it. Yeah, Country Boy says almost always. Oh, almost always. Yeah. Russell says, snap question. Your winter camping, it's minus 15. Dusk is coming on. Your winter tent has split right down the middle and fallen apart. It's too late to hike out of the wilderness. What do you do? Okay. I can most likely, if my tent is split in two, I can still throw together a rough lean-to. I will angle it so that the wind doesn't rip it away. Like, I'll try to angle it along the wind, and I probably already have a wood burning stove. I'm going to ignore that, and I will build a long fire. Those ones that you put between two halves of a log so that it'll burn all night. I will put some little stones or small logs between me and the fire so I don't roll into it. Because you got to have a big fire, and it's got to be one that lasts all night for sure. but I also know that I'm working fast, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get that log and split it down the middle before the light disappears, because swinging an axe in the dark is a lot more dangerous than trying to build a lean-to in the dark. Because I probably have a lantern with me anyway to light, or I just wrap myself up. I still need a fire, but I just wrap myself up right next to, like, maybe I can still use the wood burning stove and build like a bit of a windbreak on the other side or something. First thing I would do is breathe, because I'm someone who, if I don't take a moment to breathe, like if panic sets in, I'll get nothing done. So, first thing I'll do is like, okay, the tent has split. I will try not to let decision paralysis set in. Right? It's like, do I have time to build a lean-to, or am I wrapping myself up? Is there a log nearby or a standing deadwood that I can easily get a log from and build a long fire from? You know, I think if you don't waste time in the indecision part, you're going to be fine. Destiny's like, call an Uber. I love it. 10 bucks. Pop quiz. This is like a scene from Speed. And Christy says you should always have duct tape and would use that. This is a hot tent, because then it would not matter. Keep the fire going. I think it would still matter if it was split down the middle, Christy. Country Boy says, wrap myself up in the tent and build a bigger fire. I think if you can get like a bunch, like several layers around you, it might be. I would still want to be off the ground though. So I probably have a cot, and if it's a canvas tent, I probably have a cot. I would rather build a lean-to above the cot and have a log fire. Stop yawning. And have a long fire than just wrap myself up in it. But if dusk is coming on, I need that fire lit. Everything else is kind of negotiable in some ways. Like, if you wrap yourself up enough, you might be okay. You probably got like an Arctic sleeping bag with you if you're camping in the winter anyway. So maybe you're just, you get into the sleeping bag and you wrap yourself in the tent as well. Bring it up here, leave yourself, something to breathe through, have a long fire there. Okay, Russell says, in the same scenario, what are your top 5 tools? I'm going to need a buck saw. I'm going to need an axe, either a small forest axe or maybe a forest axe, right? Maybe something bigger. I need I love the flint and steel, but in this case, I'm gonna rather a ferro rod. And you know what? Like something an easy industrial fire starter. I always have those like as like an emergency fire starting thing for when I'm not just like bushcrafting and loving being in the woods, but I like, okay, no, I need a fire done now. I I still need to have a pot to melt snow in or to cook something in, right? Like you still need to have the pot. Okay, top 5 tools. Buck saw, axe, knife. Do I need the knife if I have the bucks on the axe? It's just, you know what? It's easier to scrape a ferro rod on the back of a knife than it is on that stupid little. Also, with the knife, you can feather up the inside of a piece of birch bark. No, yeah, I need to have a knife. I lost track because, of course, I did. Buck saw, ferro rod, axe, knife, pot. One more time with feeling. Buck saw, axe, knife, ferro rod, pot. Russell, what would you do in that situation? Sleeping in my cabin is not the answer I'm looking for. Um, hold on. Chrissy is asking, is there snow on the ground? Oh, I was just assuming that there's snow on the ground. Oh, which means, by the way, that I can use that. So, okay, what am I thinking? I build my lean-to. I pack snow on it as insulation, right? Obviously on the side away from the fire. Um, Another thing I could do is, have you guys ever have you guys ever been hiking where there's like a conifer with this huge, like, all this snow around it, but if you look down under the branch of the conifer, like, the snow just sort of thump, and you can sometimes even just get, like, the bottom of the ground down there without, because the conifer protects the ground right under there from all the snow. It's a great idea to just sort of go down into there to protect yourself from the wind and everything. Maybe have a tiny fire, like a little hobo stove or something. Um, and then wrap yourself up in a sleeping bag, and that also would be very good. Chrissy's gonna need booze. That's not a tool, though. That's a toy. Russell's 3 inches of snow. Okay, 3 feet of snow. Yeah. Scott is wrapping up with Christy. Because Scott says, I'm with Christy. That's not the awkwardness we're looking for here. Yes, alcohol does lower your body temp. I would not be drinking booze in that situation for sure. Christy says, snow makes a great barrier from the cold to so lean to firewall, log fire, and snow walls. And that sounds great to me. Sleeping like and shit. uh, Country was like, hey, I was just being practical. Fair enough. Fair enough. I do like I would say that, if I'm sitting there in my canvas tent and suddenly it splits down the middle due to wind or whatever, I would probably have a momentary, it's been such a day. I think my first instinct would be to absolutely panic, and it would have to take me a minute to sort of, no, this is not going to kill me. This is not going to be bad. We're going to do this. Because like when you're surprised by something like that, it can be hard not to lose your shit, not to lose your shift. It's okay. It's late enough in the stream that I'm not going to get demonetized for it. It's not like I'm going to sit here and suddenly start saying fuck, 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 or anything like that. But I think it's not going to be that big a deal. I don't believe I just did that. Oh, you're such a potty mouth. Does that count as a quotable quote? Actually, I hope it doesn't. Oh, so painful. Oh, it hurts so hard. Come on, mouth, stop. But I kind of want the bigger fire. Like, instead of hiding under the tree, that's probably the best thing to do. But part of me just wants the long fire. Country boy almost has always, hold on. I've always got an emergency blanket and tea lights. You dig a small hole for the tea lights and wrap the emergency blanket around you and the tea lights. temp difference would amaze you. You mean like one of those Mylar, those like reflective blankets? It's crazy what you can do with tea lights in an enclosed space. It's shocking. Especially, have you guys seen that heater you can make with a couple of tea lights and a couple of terracotta flower pots that you have to be careful you don't burn down your tent with? I would love to do an episode on that at one point, actually. I think that would be something to write down, actually. Just let me get my notebooks. My little notebooks. There's the bushcraft one. You know, that's Livestream page. I'm just going to take note of that because I think that's a great idea. I say pen. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that was interesting sitting there while I was like writing notes. You know, right. Oh, piss on a biscuit. There. Man, that is tough to do. All backwards and shift. Yeah, the reflective blanket. Whoops. Yes, the reflective blankets. Yeah. Christy's seen those. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Should I do an episode on that? Like, I realized I was just like, yes, I got to do an episode on that, and I wrote it down. But that would be interesting, right? You have to be in kind of an enclosed space to make that work. But I think that would be an interesting episode, don't you? Okay, Russell. Here's what I do: find a medium-aged pine tree where the lowest boughs are still green and touching the snow. Crawl underneath, push all the snow out and up, create a wall of snow around the lowest branches. Take small pine branches and make a bed to insulate from the ground, which is important as hell. Cuddle in sleeping bag on those branches. So you wouldn't have like a small like hobo stove or anything for heat? Yeah, I guess you'd be afraid of melting the walls and waking up in a puddle. But yeah, because that's going to protect you from the wind. Stop yawning. But I mean, look, essentially, if the tent splits and everything, we're kind of talking about we've transitioned from a bushcraft trip to a survival experience, right? You know what I'm saying? So, so maybe thinking about, oh, is this going to be fun? Is the wrong way to look at this. You know, like we're talking about living till the next night. So, the joy of having a fire is kind of not the point. I'd still like to have a fire for a little warmth, though. I like, you know, what I'm saying. Like I like the fire. Shut up, Jesse. They understand. You could possibly take the stove under with you. You could even have a fire if you're careful. I do feel you'd have to be careful though. You know. Yeah, this is survival to the next morning. Absolutely. So, what I used to do when hunting, I think I've talked about this before. I have an old McDonald's, uh, old McDonald's. I have an antique McDonald's tobacco tin, which is the perfect size for a roll of arse wipe. So you insert the arse wipe into the tin, and you fill the little bastard up with methyl hydrate. And then you just throw a match in, right? And what happens is the roll of arsewipe acts as a wick, and you get a scent free fire. And so I used to light this in the hunting blind when I would go hunting, keep myself warm. The hunting blind was an enclosed space, so it would gradually build up heat. No scent, so you're not scaring the deer away. Russell says I should do a video. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd watch that. Countryboy says knowing the bushcrafts in a survival situation will save your life. Everyone should have the basic bushcraft skills. Should be taught in school. Should be taught in school for sure. Yeah. No, I would love that if it was taught in schools. I should get elected and change the school system in Quebec to forest schools, outdoor schools. You know, kids learning math and French and geography and history and bushcraft and survival and distilling, to make essential oils, obviously. And, map making, orienteering, paddling. That'd be a good school to be at. I'd like that. Man, there are still 22 people watching. It's weird, like there are 22 people watching, but there ain't 22 people making comments. I would love to know what some of the rest of you are saying. Okay, so first of all, country boy. No, old McDonald's did not have a farm. It was a, McDonald's tobacco or Imperial tobacco. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. McDonald tobacco tin. Oh, this is exactly the one right here. Hold on, people. I'm about to share a screen. I found the exact one that I have, which is ridiculous. Boom. Hold on. So this guy right here. McDonald's export cigarette tobacco, finest Virginia. So I have one of these, and it's absolutely the perfect size for a roll of toilet paper. What? Sold out? It was only $17 Canadian. Look, there are a lot of people who would be absolutely incensed that I was using this beautiful antique blah for blah blah blah. But shut up. I'm staying alive. I'm staying alive while I'm hunting. Tenenbaum says, I'm almost not awake. I am shocked that you're still with us, considering what time I know it is in Sweden right now. It's like, what? Can we have a vote for which survival plan is best? No, because we've only got 4 minutes left, but I think that yours is probably best. Mine are more fun, but yours is, yours really is good. Mine, because I have booze. Destiny says that's Christie's for the win. You guys are funny, man. So if I'm stuck in that situation, you know what I want most? I want soup. Like, I want that tent to have ripped just when I'm finishing making a little pot of some kind of a hearty soup. What Yeah, I love everyone's like, "Christy has an excellent point." She does, but, like, I want soup or stew. I wanna have been just finishing making something hearty and warming when this happens so that I can how, like, they say, if you're walking in the forest and you realize you're lost, the first thing you should do is sit down and have a drink of water. Two things you need to be hydrating when you're in the woods, and it just it stops you and it change. And it's like, oh my god, I'm lost. Wait, sit down, drink some water, breathe. Um, I think sitting next to a fire with food going down can really improve your mindset when you're in a very stressful situation. It can be like, okay, hold on, just let me eat this damn warm ass food, and then we'll fix this. Um, Country Boy says, just being a smartass, I used to roll my own. I know that can well. The thing is, when I saw that can, I was like, "That's the one I want," because I have memories of it. I mean, members of my family used to roll their own, or they used to, buy those empty tubes and have that little machine where you go, right? You'd stuff the tobacco and and you get smokes, and they'd just sit there for, like, an afternoon. Chick, 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 chick. That would work. A beef bur yes, that's what I meant to say. A beef bourbon broth soup. That would be nice. Again, I'm with Christy. Russell, snap quiz. It's fall. Colors are amazing. You're in the wilderness beside a campfire cooking your food in a pot. You pull out a beer, realize you forgot your opener. What do you do for a okay, so this is a bottle of beer? Easy. I use my knife. When I'm trying to open a bottle that's not a twist, I use a knife even in the kitchen, right? You take your bottle and you sort of take the blade of your knife and go pop. That's what I do. Easy. And that sounds amazing, by the way. I want to be in that situation now. Oh, it's not a bottle. Oh, hold on. Okay, tout le monde. Thank you for the fun live. Looking forward to the lit live with Marcus and the Lanterns. Until next week, take care. Bonsoir et bisous. Good night, Destiny. Everyone said good night to Destiny. So if I pull out a beer and it's not an opener, what is it? Is it a keg? Right? Because a can has that silly little chick. Better have a knife to open that, even if it is a can or a bottle. Yeah, of course. I guess if worse comes to worse, you can just. Now I'm confused. Yes, it is a keg. Okay. Then what I want is I will. Okay, I can still use my knife. It's good if you have an awl, but all you really have to do is get the bung out of the hole. Context is so key when you're saying things like bung and hole. And if you have a keg of beer, I want to be at your campsite. But yeah, you just get the bung out of the hole and be very careful, because if you turn the thing over too much, you're going to get 200 liters of beer all over your campsite. Oh, it is 11 o'clock p.m., which means it's really close to 12 o'clock a.m. So we're going to shut this down for this week. I thought this was I thought this live stream went swimmingly. I enjoyed myself massively. And I very much hope that the rest of you did as well. Christy says, who actually who has a keg at a campsite? I know, but I'm just going with it because great. Christy got no ads today, but Mark just got an ad. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Makes no sense. Whatevs. Yeah, it's 23:02. So look, everybody, I'm so glad that you hung out with me until the bitter end. I'm massively happy that you guys um, really brought your A game in that side chat. That was a great side chat. Thanks for everything, guys. Um, until next Tuesday, everybody, please stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another.